It's rolling.
All right, we are back and we are live together in the living flesh. We have an incredible UFC 269 to cover. We have great fights pouring out of our ass like bad Indian food. Watch out for Dave. I'll tell you what, there's some lethal methane coming out of that guy sometimes.
Mr. Methane.
Last week's card, it was a good one. You do get to dip your hand in hot chocolate and flip me off on the main event call. I thought it was a good, decent card on average, but real talk, our man, he did his thing.
Yeah, Aldo looked great. Rob Font came out swinging in that first round. He showed you why that jab is so good. He just could not keep up that pace against Aldo. Aldo really just took it over after that about first 4 minutes of the fight.
Font did a myriad of things that I didn't like, and I'm going to focus on two just to kind of give you the breakdown. Yes, the jab was working. But what he didn't do is he wasn't going to the knee from it, which is his big shot. Aldo won that fight because he was landing big shots.
Yeah.
And obviously that's going to score more clout with the judges. And the second thing is he was trying to fucking grapple with him. Even early on, he didn't look gassed at all. Font didn't, to me at least. He looked like he had good cardio, but I didn't understand why he would, it seems like when he would get something going, then he would try to roll into like a knee bar or something. You know what I mean? He was rolling around in there like Richard Simmons, but it just didn't work. You know what I mean? And he also looks like he's a little bit chinny. He got wobbled a couple times. And you can't have that happen multiple times in a 5-round fight. It just scores too much with judges. So, but all in all, good card. Good job on the call. You were Aldo all night long.
All day, yeah. And we had Fazeev as the co-main. We were all over that one. So we had a lot of good calls. Made a lot of money. I was putting on that big old bet because I was telling you guys I had that refer a friend $300 one on the Aldo. So my bank account was looking good after these fights, man.
Yeah, put that link in the description. Maybe you get some free $300 to spend.
Click the link and refer my friend.
By free, you gotta post the 300. You gotta bet the 300, but it comes back to you, so it's a free roll.
Oh yeah.
Before we start unpacking UFC 269, we are doing something interesting. We're coining it for now the $50 bankroll challenge. I am going to kick it over to you to kind of explain what we're doing. We're going to post this as we go.
Oh yeah.
Feel free to do that. Comment, see how you're doing, see what you do with $50, and it's basically you just let it ride. I'm going to let Dave give you the intricacies of it, but I think it's a fun little thing, a fun little trend that we're trying to get going here. We did it yet last week. I obviously was the dumbass and spent all 50 right up front, and the first fight was a loss. But I will be smarter this time around, a different day.
Yeah, man, this is for all our cheapskates out there. I know that, we could put in $50, have some fun with the betting weekend. So we're showing you what we do. If we only had $50 in our bankroll, we're showing you every bet that we'd make. We reinvest our winnings, and we're competing with each other to see who can have the most money in their bankroll after the fight card's over. Just one fight card. So UFC 269, we each get $50. And we're going to be posting our bets on our TikTok, on our YouTube shorts, and showing you guys what it would look like. Now, last week, I also busted out with my $50 when Jimmy Crute got KO'd. Stuart said he'd lost on that first bet on Smolka, but bad bitch Kate, she came in. I think she was up about $40. So, that's about 80% up on a betting night, and you can't beat that for the only $50 bets. Now, we're going to be also making side bets,
which we're going to give to you.
Responsibly.
Yes.
And we're going to be putting in big bucks. But this is a $50 challenge for everyone who wants to get started in UFC betting. They can see what it feels like for just a quick little $50 spot there.
Couple rules of engagement with it. This is where I messed up. You don't have to spend $50 a fight. Your bankroll is $50. So, and it doesn't have to be a winner or a loser, like straight up. Mm-hmm. You can pick $10 for for Poirier by knockout, for example. And if you hit that, then that money gets, and then your bankroll grows, and you can bet from there. Your goal is to get it as high as you possibly can.
Correct.
$50 is your starting point. What you do from it at the end, and whoever is the highest is who wins. And it's really a good way to see how good you are at calling these fights. I don't recommend betting $50 on a straight up right away. You should kind of see what happens, sprinkle some in. Maybe you hit that knockout or the submission call or a prop bet. These are all live when you're doing this. Mm-hmm. And like he said, you risk $50, you put it in there, you see what you got. And then maybe if you want, if you're a big spender, not a cheapskate or a baller out there, maybe you crank that up to 100. Or, you know what? Honestly, peel 25 off. Do 25 to see what you can do with it. Take a couple $5 bets. Can't hurt, makes the fights more interesting, so stay tuned for more on that. And we have it on a spreadsheet, so we'll be posting ours so you can kind of see how we do it and moving forward into perpetuity. So With that being said, where do you want to start off? There's so many places to go.
Whew, man, I'm a degenerate, man. I like these women right off the bat. We got a good barn burner coming, and we got some good underdog money on this first fight of the night. We got Priscila Cachoeira versus Gillian Robertson. This one is a very interesting fight to me, especially since both these girls are starting the fight off, and it's a huge prelim card. I don't know if you've taken a look at it, but it's almost
it could be a pay-per-view itself in its own self. Real talk.
Right, and so I'm looking at this one. Priscila, she really doesn't have any takedown defense. She kind of like almost gets beat up until her opponent gasses out, and then she can do some TKO damage. I mean, she just can take it, and she's ready to just finish the fight after a little bit. And Gillian Robertson, she's on a 2-loss streak, but they're both two really good girls. One was Maverick, and she's been doing some grappling matches on the side, so I mean, kind of matches up well with Priscila here. But man, I just think for plus 300, you got Priscila, where she's going to be able to really take the pounding, and maybe get the win at the end, 3-1 on your money. I'm going with Priscila here, and she's my first bet on that $50 challenge that we were talking about. So I like that one a lot. Have you taken a look at those ladies at all?
I have, and I actually am going to be the opposite of you on this one. I'm going to explain why. Now, yes, I have her at minus 400, so you're not going to be paying your mortgage off with this bet by any means, or at least you shouldn't, unless you're just a complete fucking degenerate. But I'm going to kind of explain why. So one thing about Robertson, she has 16 takedowns in her last 10 fights. 48% control in the octagon to 22% against, and I'm pretty sure the majority of that against was in one fight. So she shows a very, very good ability to take down. And yes, I will say that Cachoeira, I think is how you pronounce her last name. She is probably, I would give her the edge on the striking. I mean, she definitely has the edge on the striking. But there is something that I don't like about her striking. She uses her face as the main line of defense. That's why they call her like the zombie or whatever her nickname is. And I think that's dangerous because I think, Robertson can get some clips in up top. But this is really why the line is the way that it is. It's a very, very heavy grappling discrepancy. You have someone that fires takedowns off often. She's willing to go in there and do a grueling 15 minutes of grappling, which is very difficult to do for the fans at home. But Robertson has, continuously showed that she's willing to do that time and time again. And in a female fight, grappling is everything, in my opinion. If she gets this down, and, Priscila, she does not look good when you put her on her back. She doesn't pop right up. She's not trying to get out of there. She only needs to land 2 takedowns across 2 rounds, and this is Robertson's fight. So for me, I'm going the opposite end, even though it's negative 400. Again, grappling scores you very big points when it comes to DraftKings. By the way, this is a fucking phenomenal DraftKings.
Yes.
I'm going to probably put 100 different line. I'll be that guy, 100 lineup guy. But, she's a great pick for that too. I think she'll score you some heavy points. And quite frankly, I wouldn't be shocked if she gets a good clip in there, because just because she doesn't have the edge on the feet doesn't mean that she can't land a heavy strike. She's just as good at doing that as well. At negative 400, a lot of chalk to lay. Not going to lie about it, but I'm Team Robertson on this one.
That's fair.
We'll move up the card here. We are going to give you a lot of fights here, as always. Forgot the pre-claim here. We don't bet every fight. I mean, if we happen to, we'll give them to you, but we only give you the ones that we're betting real money on. That $50 challenge, we do bet every fight all the way through. That's part of the challenge. But in this particular circumstance, we only give what we think. We are going to go over quite a few on this card, so bear with us. Also, did you call our contacts over at YouTube? Is it liking and subscribing? Is that?
Yeah, they're starting to send me to my own YouTube connoisseur. And they said liking and subscribing is still free.
All free. So please, if you've made it this far, fuck it. Hit the like button. It takes 2 goddamn seconds. Like, subscribe, and you're here. Boom. If you've already subbed, we appreciate you. Like. That's all you got to do. Even faster. All right, let's move on. We have Randy Costa versus Tony Kelley. I have a feeling we're going to be on the same side on this one. I'll start off. I'll take the lead here, though. So Randy Costa definitely throws lightning. I mean, he's very fast, has a lot of power for the division, in my opinion. But the thing with him is he just doesn't have the gas tank to go in there. And you're fighting a guy from Team Alpha Male and Tony Kelley. They're known for their gas tanks. Tony Kelley is no slouch. And I've listened to other YouTube channels and they talk that, he's only, he's not really gone to his grappling. But if you look pre-UFC, this guy can take you down. And that's where Randy Costa is just absolutely nothing. And it's going to gas him even more. And I think that's a good path to victory. And I got him at plus 155. Give me Team Alpha Male. Give me the better gas tank. All he has to do is weather that storm. And if you're going Randy, you need to do a first round squeeze right there. Otherwise, I just don't see him going the distance here. I don't see the fight going the distance. That actually might be a good prop bet in its own right.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to get much value on it, though, because I think the bookmakers know that this guy can't get out of the first round.
Costa's kill or be killed. He's either going to take you out right away, and the deeper that goes, the more you're going to be on Team Kelley, and the more that plus 155 starts to cross that bridge, the longer it goes. In fact, fact check it. Check the live line. He might even win the first round, but you might see him as a fucking underdog because he's got nothing left in the tank.
I think a lot of these fights you're going to be having fun with the live line. I got a few notes to make sure you do take the live line. And you're exactly right with Randy Costa, man. I think he's really sets up that head kick with his good jab and good boxing, and he is a hell of a beast at that first round mark. But we love Team Alpha Male and Tony Kelley coming on Team Alpha Male. He's going to have the gas tank, like you said, and you know that they are game planning for this. They are putting every part of their game plan into making sure that this guy does not get taken out in the first round and can walk through him in the second round. We love Alpha Male. We rarely ever bet against them, and I'm Tony Kelley here. I had the live line today at plus 140 for Tony Kelley, and I'm hitting it all over that one.
And Team Alpha Male too, and they're like one of the camp is very important here because, like you just said, they know what's got to happen here. They're definitely preaching this. This guy is going to come out like a fucking hurricane. You need to weather that storm. He probably is already conceding that he will lose that first round. I don't think you're going to see a firefight from Tony Kelley. I think you're going to see a smart fight. And that's what Team Alpha Male also delivers. They deliver the cardio and they deliver a good game plan. Put it in the bag. Tony Kelley plus 155. Looks like it went down a bit too. It looks like
I think money's coming his way. Yeah.
So people are seeing what we're seeing, but I think that's a good one. All right, this next one. He killed me. Last time. He's one of my favorite fighters. It's very interesting to watch him. If you're not a UFC avid fan and you watched his last fight, you probably thought he was smoking a little bit of the devil's lettuce in there, just rolling around again like Richard Simmons, just going for the knee bar. I think he just ran into a buzzsaw, but I really didn't mind it. It was interesting. It was entertaining. You know what he wants to go for. And with Ryan Hall, I'll give you the line too. Ryan Hall is at negative 200. But he's also shown the ability, and he just got creamed. I mean, this is going to happen. But he's shown the ability to fight like that and take fights to decision. He doesn't need to just get the knee bar anymore. It's an awkward fighting style, a crazy one to try to prepare for. And when it comes to Darrick Minner, I just don't know that he has the volume to put him away for what he's trying to do. And Ryan Hall is willing to fight for me. I mean, you can't fucking see it on camera, but there's a pool table probably 10 feet from us. He'll fight fucking 9 feet away. I mean, he has no problem. And then he's just going to cut. When he comes in, he's rolling. So he's hard to hit on the way in. You have to try to catch him. But if you go down and you want to grapple with him, that's where he gets the knee bar. I'm Ryan. I know I'm laying some chalk here, but I think this is a finish for Ryan Hall all day.
Oh, yeah. I like Ryan Hall. He's the first piece in one of my parlays I got going here. You're completely right with that. Topuria, that guy is an absolute monster. Probably a contender in the top 5 in the next year or two. Just a beast. And you got Darrick Minner coming off. Lost to Darren Elkins, which is kind of on his way out. I mean, the damage, he's looking good, but man, that was a hard fight to watch. A lot of, Minner gets submitted a lot too. I think it was submit or be submit when I was looking at his record here. So I like everything about Hall. We're going to see some of those Imanami rolls or whatever the hell they're called, and I like that. But I got Hall first leg of parlay, and
the other thing too, why his last opponent was able to absolutely drill him on the ground, which put him out, which is really the calling card to victory. And if you want to beat someone like Ryan Hall, I don't think Minner has even a fraction. He couldn't even fucking be that guy's, elbow skin in terms of striking and power, in my opinion. And it does take that kind of power because when he gets around you, you can't just not address it. Mm-hmm. And the best way to address it is to fucking hammer down some punches. And if you don't knock him out, you're fucked. And Ryan Hall just got knocked out by a really, up-and-comer, in my opinion. I'm actually excited to see his next fight. But we're both Ryan Hall. We're big Ryan Hall fans. Till proven otherwise, and this might be what gets me off. Maybe they figured it out. There's not a lot of people that I go jiu-jitsu on either. Like if it's like jiu-jitsu is not meta anymore. People have figured that out. But there are two on this card, Ryan Hall being one of them, where give me the jiu-jitsu because it's just that much next level, and it's hard to compete against. So Ryan Hall it is.
Yeah.
Did you want to discuss this one?
Just real quick, I mean, it's kind of a little chalky as well. Alex Perez, he just looks like an absolute beast. He had a great beginning of the first round versus Davison Figueiredo. He got put in a guillotine and really must have lost his mind and tried to defend it in a very strange way. If he wasn't going to try to defend, his head was almost out. If he wouldn't have tried to lift Figueiredo up while his head was in a guillotine, I think he could have been champ that night. So I really like him. He's a minus... Let's see what we got him at. Minus 335. I got him in my parlay with Ryan Hall here. I didn't have really too much coming from Matt Schnell. He's coming down a weight class after a loss in his last fight. It maybe have a little bit of a size advantage, but I think it's a step up in competition for him. And I really like Alex Perez there.
I do think it's an auto win. I agree with you. I think that there's such a competition gap between the two fighters, him and Matt Schnell. And yeah, in this card, you're going to find that you're either laying chalk or you're taking you're sprinkling in on a heavy underdog. It's kind of like there's a couple where there's pick'ems where you can go one side or the other. I would suggest parlay. I would definitely 100% suggest finding room in your salary cap for him in DraftKings. I do think a finish is coming here, and I think the finish is going to be on the Alex Perez side. So that's what I have to offer on that one. While we move up the card here, so this next one is very interesting. This one crossed the bridge. I don't know if you guys realize this. Maverick actually opened up at plus 135 on this one. She currently, at the time of taping, which is Tuesday, if I can pull this up, is sitting at the favorite at negative 135. And I think that the Sharps are seeing exactly what I'm seeing. Again, a step up in competition. I think she's up and comer. She's got all the makings. I don't think either fighter has their back against the wall here, in my opinion, because I think they're both, they both could take a loss and be just fine. I just think Maverick has more tools in her belt, more octagon control. I don't see a knockout happening in women's MMA, so you always go with who has the more, where the fight goes, who has the most control of the fight. And to me, that's Miranda Maverick. Not the most confident about this pick, but I am going on Miranda Maverick's side. I would have loved her a hell of a lot more at plus 135. Yeah, the
plus money. That's a weird line to open up at. No, I got Erin Blanchfield here. She's a high-level brown belt Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And, like you were saying, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu kind of out of the meta. I think it kind of comes back in when it comes to a little bit of the lower-ranked women's fights. So I'm always on that a little bit better. And, this girl's tough. She won her UFC debut. And I think they're trying to make a name for her, too. Miranda Maverick had that weird loss decision to Macy Barber. And I think she kind of might have, maybe not everything that she's doing is all only about fighting right now. So I got Blanchfield. I like the way her ground game worked. She looked real fierce coming out of her UFC debut. I like her with the plus money. I got her at plus 130. I'm taking it straight.
The worry you got to have here, though, and I do agree the ground game is better, but the problem is I can see Miranda getting her down and doing a massive ground and pound. And if Erin's just going to sit there and try to do submissions or Kimuras or triangle chokes from the bottom, it doesn't score clout with judges. If someone's pounding, if you're active on top. That is. Yeah. And Miranda is very active on the top. I think she has a very good ground and pound game. And I think on the feet, she's going to be able to take that as well. So it's interesting. The line movement was insane to me. I almost didn't believe it because I didn't see the early line, but I heard, earlier on that's where it was. So you might want to fact check me on it. But I'm Miranda Maverick and you're Erin Blanchfield.
Yeah.
Since I do have the favorite side, is this
is this the rebranded tequila bet?
Yes.
we have to put we have to do something with that one. But yeah, we'll put that one as the bet. That's a good one.
Ice bath outside.
Ice bath, yeah. Go the snow ice.
Just catch a cold instead of a hangover.
There we go. But yeah, that's a good fight. I'll be in on that one.
All right, and we are going to move up the card here. So we have Eryk Anders versus André Munhoz. This is your typical grappler versus striker matchup. Fights do start on the feet. Important to note. I think because do you have the line on this one here?
Yeah.
Bruno Silva's at -365. I knew he was at...
No, we're not talking about this one.
Or André Munhoz. Okay, so he's at -140.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the line is a little bit recency bias because he was able to submit and break his arm, for fuck's sake, Souza, which is the guy you just don't submit. I think Souza's on his way out, and I think this line is dictating that. I don't think he's going to go in there and be able to just tie Eryk Anders up in a pretzel. Eryk Anders does not have weak takedown defense, and I think he knows what he wants to do, and I think that he's going to strike up top, and I like what Eryk does. He uses the fence well. He controls the octagon while striking. I think this is going to go to decision. I think Anders is going to land the bigger shots. I don't think that Munhoz is going to be able to get him in a submission, which to me, at -140, that's what you're hoping for. I don't see how else you give him that. You know what I mean? It's a striking advantage and on the ground and pound, all those different things. In fact, the same things I said for Miranda Maverick versus Erin Blanchfield, I can see that same shit happening here, except now I'm on the dog side. So for me, I'm Eryk Anders. I don't know if you have a different spin on this.
Yeah, man, I'm on Munhoz here. I think traditional takedowns, Eryk Anders is really good at stuffing. Now, he's a Brazilian jiu-jitsu guy, and he likes to create those scrambles, get you out on your back in a weird way, get you down to the ground. I mean, he did that to Jacare Souza. I mean, even if he's 41 and, kind of on his way out, I mean, he's still a high-level grappler. And to be able to do that to him in the transitions like he did with that inverted armbar that he got him into, I think something like that with Eryk Anders looking a little bit awkward sometimes and being able to get put into some kind of scramble, I believe that's where Munhoz is going to be able to get him onto the ground and get that submission. So, I think I like the dog idea with it because he's definitely got the puncher's chance. He's got the power for the knockout, but I'm going to be on André here.
Now, question. Mm-hmm. Are you on André just on the straight, or are you in laying the chalk, or are you going to try to sprinkle in a prop bet on that one?
I'm just going to go straight. Some prop bets burned me last week. I don't normally do them, and I realized why last week. When you're winning the scrambles like that, you don't get the sub, but you get the decision on the points. I hate to lose with something like that, so I'm going to be taking it just straight -140, laying the 140 and taking them straight.
All right. Well, we're on the opposite there. We're going to move on up here. I'm going to keep on going. There's not a lot of fights we're not going to call here. So
this card is stacked.
Jordan Wright, the Beverly Hills Ninja, I believe is his name.
Correct.
He should probably just go to the local. What is that? Where do you go to change your name? You got to go to the fucking Secretary of State for that? I don't know how you do it, but he should just change it. Beverly Hills, first name, Ninja, last name. Versus official. Bruno Silva. What a fucking line this is. So we have the Beverly Hills Ninja coming in at +280 and then 365 for Silva. I'm going the Beverly Hills Ninja, maybe because of his nickname. But I think there's a lot of power that this man possesses. He's surprised us as a mega underdog before. And at +280, what the fuck do I have to lose? Puncher's chance, I'll take it. I'm not going to put the house on this one by any means. But I think the line, the striking, I'm going to go with Jordan Wright here.
Oh, yeah.
I'm moving right into the storm.
Oh, I'm with you, dude. Jordan Wright versus Bruno Silva. This is fight of the night contender, and that's something to say with the stacked card that we got here. But these two guys both bring the fireworks. I can't see this going anywhere but having a great time. Hopefully we don't get two guys that are normally awesome strikers that are afraid to fight each other, but I don't see that happening here in the prelims. Both these guys got something to fight for, and then you're giving me +280 when somebody's getting KO'd. I mean, he's got a puncher's chance just like anyone else, so I'm on Jordan Wright as well.
I think honestly, if you're going to give the slick, I don't know how you would coin this, but I call it slick power, being able to really land the target. Mm-hmm. Jordan Wright's very good at that.
Precision, maybe.
Precision punching.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe if you're going to give the striking advantage, maybe you would say Bruno Silva, right? Maybe he's got more tools in his belt. But if you're thinking that this isn't going to go the distance, give me the precision puncher. Yeah. You see it all the time. Who was the guy that I went on last week and he beat the wrestler guy the week, the not even a month prior. He beat Rowe or whatever his name is. I can't remember his name now. But he's one of those guys who'll go in there and, he might not be the most active striker, but when he lands, he lands. And I think that's going to be the case here with Jordan Wright. I can't think of the name, but it's irrelevant. Just trust what I'm saying. It's a different day. All right, so we're on the same side here. Jordan Wright plus 280. Put that one in the bank. So now this one is definitely one I'm looking forward to. Maybe because I want to see shoot the boot. I don't know. Tai Tuivasa versus Sakai. Augusto Sakai. I'll let you take the lead here. Do you have anything you want to sprinkle?
Man, I didn't want to watch a tape on Ty because I didn't want to watch him drink beer out of his shoey after somebody hawked a loogie in it. But this guy
likes that shit. Don't let him lie. He likes that shit.
Thick beast of a man. Ty Tuivasa is. I can't bet against him. He's got that KO power. He's a precision striker for being a kind of a sloppy looking dude. He can really get good knockouts. I wouldn't bet against him here with near even money. I'm tied to Tuivasa all day.
Yeah, Tuivasa all day. I do want to see him shoot the boot. That does play a bit of a role here, but the precision here and the way that he does it, he is such a counterpuncher, and he throws that fucking belt loop into it, and he absolutely wrecks people with it. And the other thing I like about it, and he doesn't look like he's in good shape at all, but my God, he's in good fight shape. I mean, it seems like the guy, he's in there, he's fucking around the whole time, doesn't seem to get gassed, and he seems to take punches well. I actually was shocked. I mean, I know when you look at the tail of the tape, I think it does indicate a pick 'em when you look at the striking defense, strikes for, strikes against, yada, yada. But I just think Tuivasa's got this one all day in the bag. Sakai has never done anything that's really been overly impressive to me. And I think he's going to run into a buzzsaw. And what you will see is either a knockout or just the sheer fact that Tuivasa is going to land the bigger shots. And it's going to score more clout with the judges win, and he's going to get his hand raised. Simple there. Dominick Cruz versus Pedro Munhoz. Munhoz. What would be the pronunciation, man? Get the Britannica.
Munhoz. Yeah, man. This is probably the second biggest bet I have currently for this card. Dominick Cruz coming off a good win after a little bit of a layoff, and you're getting minus 110 for each fighter. Dominick Cruz just looked great against Casey Kenny. I know Dominick Cruz doesn't really think much of ring rust, but when you're off for about a year and then you come back and put a whipping on Casey Kenny like that.
Which was a good win.
Really good win. Yeah, Casey Kenny's up and comer in the fight. And then you got Pedro Munhoz that just got pretty much disgraced by Jose Aldo a few months back. And I just don't think he's going to have anything for Dominick Cruz. I mean, he had a hard time with Aldo's defense, and Dominick Cruz is one of the slickest guys when it comes to defense on the feet that you can get. I don't know if there's a better MMA mind in the game either than Dominick Cruz. I mean, you could tell they put him as the analyst. They put him as a commentator. This guy's sharp. This guy knows what to do when he's out there, and if his feet and his body's holding up for him, he's one of the best in the world.
Now, this one has crossed the bridge in the reverse way of how we're both going to bet, because I am going to be on Cruz as well. Cruz did open up. It was like a pick 'em at negative 110. He is now at plus 100. I don't know how much I'm reading into that. Not anywhere near the other movement that we discussed. But let me give you a little statistic here that will help us. First off, before I give the statistic, Pedro has not done anything that I think he's one of the more overrated fighters in the UFC. I honestly do. I think after his next couple of fights, he's going to be shipped off in a shipping container. But Dom Cruz has 67% striking defense. Now, you obviously understand why when you see him fight. The guy switches stances. He's a hard guy to train for, to plan for. He'll switch his stances. He's constantly moving. And he's going to, again, death by 1,000 cuts. He's going to go in there. I don't think Dominick Cruz is like the heavy power guy, especially later on in his career, but he knows how to get his hand raised. He knows how to outpoint a fight, and you're going to see much of the same. He's going to switch his stance. He's going to land kicks. He's going to land punches. I think he might get a couple of big shots in there, not enough to put Munhoz away by any means, but I think at the end of it, it's going to be a clear-cut, unanimous decision for our boy Dom Cruz on this one. Very simple stuff there. Did you want to discuss Ige by chance?
Man, we got Josh Emmett coming out of Team Alpha Male as well. We mentioned earlier that we really, really like a Team Alpha Male. And this dude is fast. He hits you with lightning speed. He's coming off about a year and a half layoff, but, he's a favorite here at -160. I got him at today. I don't think Dan Inge is going to be able to have, Ige is going to have much for him. He is a black belt, and he's coming off a loss to Korean Zombie. Korean Zombie really took care of him most of that fight. I didn't see much for him. And Josh Emmett's just going to be coming at him with a different kind of quickness. I got Josh Emmett there.
I'm Josh Emmett too, and I'm going to tell you, I've relinquished myself from betting anything Dan Ige after losing to the Korean Zombie. I thought that was a sure fucking thing. Didn't have a good showing. I think he won't have a good showing here. Give me Josh Emmett. That's all I'm offering you. He fucked me, so now I'm against him. Auto fade. All right, now we're getting into the meat and potatoes on this one. And there is a lot to discuss. This is going to be a longer show, but it's going to be worth it. I think we have some really solid bets. Now, we have Sean O'Malley versus Paiva. Now, I've been saying this for a very long time. I love watching Sean O'Malley fight. He's exciting. He's good for the sport. But I do think he's slightly overrated. I think that the UFC has served them up some absolute fucking cupcakes. And for me, I don't know. I was hoping for when the exchange happened, because I knew that we had to drop a fighter here. So I was hoping for a grappler. That was when I was going to go really big against Sean O'Malley, because I'd like to see what he does when someone can shoot in on him on those kicks and things like that. But we do have a kicker. And I do think that Sean O'Malley's weakness is getting kicked in the leg. And Paiva probably knows that, and he likes to kick said leg. And I think, where's this line at right now?
I'm seeing it as O'Malley -305, Paiva +240.
And the bookies continue to just make you pay the fucking piper if you want Sean O'Malley. I think you are fucking crazy laying 300, especially after his last showing. Listen, I know he whooped the guy's ass, but to me, he didn't show enough power. And there was some sparks in that fight where that guy was almost breaking his will. I know he threw everything he had at him. And if it was a higher level fighter, not on short notice, and he does that, I'd change the way that I think about that fight. But it was a guy that they pulled off of the fucking used car lot, throw him in there on short notice. I think it was like a week. Very short notice, because they wanted O'Malley to fight in that card. That was a big thing for the UFC. Mm-hmm. And the guy went in there and withstood everything, which to me indicates that there might not, he was landing a lot of shots, but not a lot of shots with power.
Yeah. And
now he's got to worry about, and the guy people he's been fighting are one-trick ponies, except for the guy that beat him when the leg thing happened, yada, yada, yada. But Chito Vera. But I just think now now you have to focus on the leg kick. So that brings another element that I'm interested to see how Sean O'Malley does. Now, he could go out there and get the knockout. There's no doubt about it. I do think that he should be the favorite. But while they still are just greasing Sean O'Malley with these lines, I'm gonna take a little bit on the side here on this one and let it roll. In fact, fun fact, I do have like a 10-pick parlay where I put 10. I do like a parlay just to see what the fights I have, so I can have organization. But if this parlay, it's a 12-picker. If this one wins, I do win 48,000 big ones.
Ooh, $48. I think that could hit. And you're degenerate when instead of using your notepad, you use a $10 bet.
I use the bets. That's how I do it. But again, that's the secret sauce for me. So I'll let you go.
Oh, man, I love this one. Sean O'Malley, he's bringing the sugar show for the main card opener. But I have been high on Paiva ever since he derailed Kyler Phillips a few months back now.
Good win.
He derailed that hype train. It was his first fight at 135. He looked really good second and third round. This guy could take a punch. He was getting smashed in that first round and even into the second round, getting rocked and even put down. So I'm thinking this is going to translate well. You saw how Sean O'Malley does against guys with good chins. He can kind of get a little tired after beating on him for a while.
And if you watch that fight, actually, if you're like a big MMA guru, go rewatch that fight. Towards the end of that fight, towards the end of the second round, and then pretty much all of the third round, Sean O'Malley looked defeated. Not like he was getting defeated. He just looked like it broke his spirit. I can't put this fucking guy out. And the difference was that guy didn't have anything else to attack him. He was just breaking his spirit by using his face as a punching bag. Paiva's not going to do that. He's going to strike back. So if he can take everything that O'Malley has into the deeper rounds and still throw some back, unlike his previous opponents, I'd like to see what he does. And that's where I'm at. So Paiva, I think it's going to be I think he's going
to keep his power late into the fight and see what he can do. It's at +240. I like Sean O'Malley. Just
playing a big role in that $48,000. So we can't do the old cash out until at least this one's done.
Yeah, this one's got to hit, man.
But
So, I like
Paiva all day. I think this is a good one. Now, we've talked a lot about how much we love alpha male. Cody, good friend of mine, Vince Murdoch. It's one of his boys. It's always interesting to see him in the Snapchats and things like that. Never gets old. But there's versus Kai Kara France. Okay, so the line, we have Kai Kara France coming in at plus 115. Cody coming in at negative 135. I believe Cody is down a weight class on this one. And this begs the question. I think that Cody, the thing with Cody, there was only one fight where I felt he had a complete game plan where it wasn't just, I give him a flurry, I hit the knockout, or I hurt the guy early, and I come out victorious. And that was when he fought Cruz. It was a complete fight. Gas tank was there. Nothing that Cruz could have done to him on that night that was going to it was kill or be killed for Cody. Now, I know you had a couple of run-ins with someone that was juicing, and I'm all for, understanding the dynamics that come with that. But Cody, to me, I feel like his gas tank is somewhat suspect. I feel like he depends a lot to put people out early. And being down a weight class, this is interesting to me because you can when you go down a weight class that maybe you haven't even fought in before, the weight cut plays a role. In fact, if you look at who's the guy that just lost the belt to Moreno, Figueiredo.
yeah.
Figueiredo to me shouldn't be and I said this on previous shows, I think that he's cutting too much weight and it affects him. And it affects his cardio particularly. He can't go as fast. He's not as speedy, and he's too burned out. And if you've ever cut weight before, for the wrestlers that are watching, it does take a toll on you. And I don't think this plays into I don't know that Cody's going to be capable of having a good weight cut. I think he had a suspect gas tank before. I think it's only going to get worse now. And if he can't put Kai Kara France out early, he's going to be in trouble. And France has a good chin. He's a very active fighter. Very good gas tank. I think it's a bad matchup, and I'm getting the plus side on this one at plus 115. I just don't see how you don't take France and put him in a parlay, put him in your DraftKings, do a straight up bet, whatever you got to do. But I just think there's so much value there at plus 115.
Yeah, I mean, he still has some serious KO power at that weight class too. He can really hang in there and win some fights. With
Garbrandt's
he's not going to win. And man, Garbrandt, I like Garbrandt a lot. It was fun as hell watching him beat up Dominick Cruz when he was at the top of his power. We'll have to see what he looks like at this weight class. Maybe we got a little bit of wrong read on it, but until we see what he looks like, I think I'm just going to be staying away from this fight. I don't really like betting against alpha male, but minus 135 for Cody, I just can't see doing it right now.
And an unknown weight class. And am I not was that not the last really complete fight where it's like, okay, this guy can go the distance. He's got it all together. Didn't get knocked out. Cardio was there. I just don't feel and he's won one out of his last fucking 5.
Yeah. And Assanso, I mean, he did have that killer knockout on him, but man, we'll have to see. I mean, I hope the best for him at 135. If he looks great, I'll bet on him his next fight at going down to 125, going down to 125. So I'd like to see it, but until I see him, kind of prove himself at that weight class, I'm not going to be putting my money with him.
No, especially when you're laying chalk.
Yep.
All right, you have the back line on this one, so I'm gonna go ahead and just kick it right over to you.
This is the one that I have the most money on so far on this fight card, and this line's really blowing my mind. You got Jeff Neal coming off a drunk driving weapons charge within a week of taping this on Tuesday, and he's going to be fighting on Saturday in a main card fight against Santiago Ponzinibbio, and you're getting about even money on Ponzinibbio. I got him at minus 120 today. I laid so much money on him, I couldn't believe they're still taking bets. Is this fight even going to really happen? I mean, Jeff Neal's getting drunk and driving a week before his
You
fight.
told Kate you're going to have to pay the mortgage in January, right?
Well, yeah, Kate always pays the mortgage. But
if he loses, I should say.
yeah, but I just don't see any. I mean, how many things are going on in this guy's head? He's got to deal with the drunk driving. He's got to deal with the weapon charge. He's got to deal with his weight cut. He's got to deal with this camp finishing up. And you know what Ponzinibbio is dealing with? Whipping Jeff Neal's ass. So I got it at minus 120 today. I hammered that line. I would advise you to do it too, because by the time you see this Jeff Neal have to weigh in, I cannot see it looking good for him. And when you got all the bettors putting their eyeballs on him and hearing this story, because it's going to be blasted out more and more, I don't see that line going anywhere but towards Ponzinibbio here. What do you think?
So there's a myriad of issues with this one. Again, I'm going to focus on 2 of the obvious ones. First off, in terms of Jeff Neal and what he's dealing with out of the octagon, the psychological effect of that. A weapons charge into DUI is not like a fucking speeding ticket or something very simple. Like, there could be some major repercussions that come from this. I'm actually shocked that they're letting them go. Just from a UFC standpoint. I understand innocent till proven guilty, but if it was a fucking traffic stop, I think this one's pretty obvious and you should read between the lines on it. But the second thing, drinking. You have a fight coming up in a week and a half. What the fuck? That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't mean that you're focused on your training even prior to this. I'm certain you weren't focused on it afterwards. And even if you were, a little something called too little too late. Give me Santiago and negative 120. Fucking value galore there. Jeff Neal isn't even like this stud of studs anyway, where he deserves to even have the line this close, even, prior to these things. But I'm Santiago all day. The optics of this fight just are screaming at you to do it. Maybe Vegas doesn't know something or knows something we don't know. I don't know. But to me, it's a very simple call. As simple as 1 + 1 = 2.
I'm just think something's going to happen where this fight doesn't actually go. But I'd put some money on it now just in case it does.
All right. We have Amanda Nunes versus Juliana Pena. Here's the thing, folks. It's much of the same. It's the same fucking thing. Different, maybe different, colors out there. I don't know. It kind of reminds, you ever seen Coming to America?
Oh, yeah. I love that.
Okay. Where they were claiming the differences of the McDonald's versus McDonald's. We have different arches. It's the same shit, and it's going to be the same result. There is no one that competes with Nunes. Nobody. I don't know what Dana might need to go and spend some money like he did on Chandler and go take that girl from the PFL or something. You need to bring someone in because there's just not people coming up the ranks that can compete with her. And it's just easy money that she's cashing. Fuck, man. Good. No pun against her. Do your thing, make your money, boo. But it just, what do you even do with this?
I don't know. And Pena's acting like, Nunes is ducking her and that she's going to be the one that beats her.
It's all the same. That's why I said the fucking Coming to America thing.
Yeah. Is it fun? Is it fun to say this kind of stuff and then go get embarrassed? I would love to see her win at plus 550 underdog and put some money on her, but I'm not crazy. I'm not going to be laying that kind of money to watch Amanda Nunes beat the hell out of somebody else.
You've lost first off, you've lost 2 of your last 4. Okay, you could take the sesame seeds off the bun and fucking call it a Big Mick. It's still a fucking Big Mick. Okay? Again, don't piss on my leg and tell me it's raining. You have nothing different than Amanda Nunes. There's not a part of your game. You're going to try to do the same things that Amanda Nunes does, except her calling card is better than yours. And it's better than anybody that they can offer right now. So they need to go back to the drawing board on what's next after this massacre. But it's literally the most superior champion I think that we have pound for pound in the UFC right now.
Yeah, dominant.
I'm not even even if you go down that division, I don't know who you think you're going to put up against her that's going to even. That's why she can't even get a main event, because it's nothing worth putting her as a main event, as the marquee. She's a co-main right now. But yeah, I'm guessing you're Amanda Nunes as well.
Amanda Nunes, yeah.
Okay.
I that's a fun. You get to watch a girl get knocked out real quick. That's always fun.
And now we are here. The moment you've all been waiting for. The main dish. Dustin Poirier versus Charles Oliveira. You want to lead off here?
Man, I don't know if you guys know this, but we were in Windsor playing craps in our money suits. Me and Steel Cage Stu. And who walked up to that craps table? Dustin Poirier. That sucker played dice with us for about an hour long, and we were winning. We had fun with this guy. I even high-fived him and Matt Brown, his trainer, and we had a great time. And that's a true story in Windsor, Ontario, Canada. We lived in Detroit. We went over the bridge, and we won some money, and we played dice with Dustin Poirier. It was the funnest night of my life. And I never bet against him after that. Also, Dustin Poirier would beat the hell out of every single person that Charles Oliveira beat to get to this title that he has right now. Everyone knows Dustin Poirier is the real champ if Khabib's retired. Khabib's the only guy that could beat him at 155. Dustin Poirier beats the hell out of Charles Oliveira at UFC 269 and gets the belt back. What do you think, buddy?
I think that we are going to do something with this bet, and we're going to tape it, and we're going to put it on. I'm on the opposite end here. And again, our boy Charles Oliveira continues to get just slighted by the betting gods. at plus 135. And I said earlier in the show, I don't tend to give you the people or put any money on people strictly because of their jiu-jitsu abilities. I don't think that in modern day UFC that it works with the talent levels and things like that. But he is the second person on this card that just has that next level. I think Poirier is getting a lot of recency bias out of beating Conor McGregor, which everyone fucking does. And albeit I am a Poirier fan, but I just don't see what and Charles Oliveira goes in and scores a knockout in his last fight. A knockout with a punch. You know what I mean? And granted, he almost got knocked out too, but he was breath away when Chandler almost put him away. But at the same time, you knocked out Chandler. Gaethje didn't knock out Chandler. So to me, that says something. I think his gas tank is incredible, and I think his jiu-jitsu is absolutely fucking next level. And if you look down the list of some of his fights, or just watch them when he gets a submission. The IQ this guy has on the ground is literally beyond next level. I almost wish that if there's a fight I would love to see of anything, I really, really, really would like to see Khabib versus this guy. I think it would be interesting because I don't think Khabib could just lay on him all fight. I think you'd be in a world of trouble. It'd be very interesting to see these two fight. We obviously are too late on that, so we're going to keep the main thing, and that's Dustin Poirier. But maybe you give him the edge on the feet, but I just think that Oliveira will get this down, and he's going to take care of business. And in 5 rounds, one of those rounds he gets him on the ground. I just don't think that Poirier has shown me enough grappling-wise that he's going to be able to fight this guy off of his legs, his arm, or anything. And quite frankly, I wonder what the gas tank is. Poirier's got, he's fought a guy with no gas tank and hasn't had to really go deep in his last couple of fights. I know that Poirier has a good gas tank previously, but it's been a while since he's had to show it. And I think this line specifically, if you're looking at value, is just a tale of Oliveira always gets slighted by these guys and he always comes out victorious. And Poirier is getting the recency bias. He beat the, quote, king, the money fight. Which I don't hate him for taking those fights. It's smart. There's a reason that he did this. It was the way that he made the most money, and he's done it perfectly to the T. I'm going to fight McGregor again, make more money. I win that. I'm the heads-up favorite to get the title fight. Duh. Take it. You get the favorite, but I just think you're getting so much value at plus 135. I could even argue the most value on the card. And I might have said that once before, but now that I'm saying this out loud, I'm Oliveira.
Nah. Man, I don't know. I think, you were not giving Conor McGregor much credit, but I think, Oliveira's been on a 9-win win streak in the UFC, and I think Conor McGregor beats the shit out of all 9 guys that he fought. I think Poirier really whips their asses. I don't think anyone that he fought, maybe Michael Chandler might be number 5, but besides that, I don't think anyone he fought in his 9 wins to become champion were even in the top 5 of the 155 weight class, especially if you start counting people like Islam Makhachev in there. So I got Poirier all day. He's been beating the top of the top. The only
You think Conor McGregor now, modern day Conor McGregor, beats all these guys?
Every single one of these guys. You got Michael Chandler. That's the easy KO for Conor McGregor. Tony Ferguson beats the hell out of him. Kevin Lee, cut by the UFC. Conor McGregor beats the shit out of him. Lucas Barros, that's a grappling match. Jared Gordon, I don't really know much about him. Nick Litz, don't really know much about him. David Tamura, Conor beats the shit out of David Tamura. Jim Miller, come on.
Well, you're going back to 2018.
I mean, that's his last 9 fights, though. I mean, Conor McGregor beats the shit out of all those guys, and not one of them are in the top 5 in my book of power rankings. So, I don't know. I don't see Charles Oliveira having much to say to Dustin Poirier here. Dustin Poirier is the man, true number 1 champ. Let's go.
We're going to see what happens. We do have one more card left in the UFC. It is going to be Derrick Lewis. We will bring that to you. But outside of that, man, this is a good card. Crack open your favorite beverage, start to drink it, have some fun. I know I will be. Hopefully we come out ahead on this one. We did put a flurry, a bevy of bets out there for everyone. Hopefully they all fucking hit, because if they do, right here, I'm going to win $48,000, which will be nice. But even if they don't, it's still going to be good. I think it's an exciting night of fights. As always, you always see that one card that the UFC throws out there at the end of the night, or at the end of the year. That's just a barn burner. I think this will be much of what you saw in New York, and I can't wait.
Oh, fun fights all around. Yeah, man. Don't forget the bankroll challenge. We're going to be posting all about that all the time. We're going to check in with you after the weigh-ins, give you some DraftKings lineups, have some fun with that one. And, man, thanks for tuning in.
All right. Till next time, my friends. Salute. Like and subscribe. Like, subscribe. If you are watching this, like, subscribe. Take 2 seconds. Do it, please. It means a lot to us. Maybe nothing to you. Boom.